Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and start by cutting our potatoes. I already peeled them, so I recommend you guys doing that first, like peeling them and rinsing them off. But I'm gonna go ahead and just cut them. I have 4 potatoes with me today because, like I'm gonna say a lot, it's just 2 people tonight. But again, if you have like a larger family, I would recommend at least, like if you have 4 people, at least 8 potatoes, like minimum. But I'm gonna go ahead and put them in my water that is salted and it's boiling, and I'm using this whisk thing because I don't want to burn myself. Okay, for seasoning for my chicken, I literally just use my pink Himalayan sea salt, my chipotle black pepper seasoning, which I use all the time, and then my garlic salt, and that's it. I went ahead and rinsed my chicken off, and I seasoned it with the seasonings that I just showed you, and now I'm just going and breading or dredging my chicken on both sides. Not too much, just like a little coat so it has like a little bit of crispiness going on with it. Okay, and since my potatoes are done, I'm going to go ahead and start them. I'm using my KitchenAid. You can use any kind of blender that you want, but I'm just using KitchenAid or a potato masher. But I'm going to use the whisk attachment because it makes them fluffier in my opinion, along with some heavy whipping cream, a half stick of butter, and some minced garlic. And normally I use roasted garlic. Like I go and get like a head of garlic and I put it in the broiler for like about a minute or so and do that, but I just didn't pick it up today, so we're using this. Okay, and for the portion sizes or like the amounts, I use about up to half a cup or a little bit less than half a cup. It just depends on how thin and creamy you want them to be of my heavy cream. And then I use a whole stick of butter or the whole half of the butter, but again, it's just like use pieces at a time. Okay, so I literally have my potatoes like out of the water. They've been cooling down for about like 10-ish minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and start. Just dump, depending on how big your bowl is and how many you make. I'm using a total of 4 potatoes. So this all fits perfectly fine in my bowl because I have a smaller KitchenAid, so like the half one. So this fits perfectly. This is what it looks like. The bowl is still pretty warm to the touch. So just be mindful of that because if it's like scorching hot, just go ahead and stop where you're at and either put your bowl in the refrigerator / freezer or just like transfer it back into your strainer. And seasoning that I totally forgot about, but like it's one of those like no-brainers, salt and pepper, your best friends. Tried and true, you can always count on them. I'm gonna go ahead and like salt them, and it's a generous amount because again it's to taste because there's a lot of potato to cover, so you're gonna be like fixing the flavor as you go. Some pepper. That's all I'm gonna do for right now. I'm gonna go and start blending this and I'll come back in a minute. Okay, so this is what it looks like with 15 seconds on. It's kind of on a crumbly texture, and of course it's dry, but it's gonna be dry. So I'm gonna go ahead and start adding in my butter. And I have like the half stick that I like already like sectioned, but you're gonna end up using the whole stick. You don't have to, but I use the whole stick. But don't add it all in at once. Just go ahead and like quarter it off, because if you put the whole stick in at once, you're gonna get like a giant chunk, and then your KitchenAid is gonna start fumbling and you get scared that it's gonna break. Because again, trust me, I know. Things I tell you not to do is because I know from experience, because I was that person. But also at this point, I am going to just like slowly add in like all of my butter and then my garlic and then my milk. So this is after about 2 minutes of mixing on like, this is what it looks like after about 2 minutes of mixing on slow. And I did add all my butter and I added about a third cup of heavy cream. And it's the consistency that I like, and now all you have to do is just go and taste, like season to taste. Okay, so we're moving on to sides, and we're having mashed potatoes and green bean casserole. And green bean casserole is a definitely like a foolproof kind of meal. It's literally just, you have your cream of mushrooms, your green beans, and the little like crunchy onion, whatever. But I'm gonna add like one more extra thing to it to like give it, actually 2 extra things, to give it like a more thicker consistency and like a little bit more flavor. So have our cream of mushroom. Oh, and yes, of course you need a pan. I'm using a very small pan because it's just me and Jessica tonight, like a 6x6. So I might have to use 2 of these. I don't know. We will find out. And then I'm using some Greek yogurt. If you don't like Greek yogurt, this is plain Greek yogurt at that, like no flavor. But you can also use sour cream. But I'm just using this to like give it a more like bite kind of feel, if that makes sense. And I got like the smallest one that they have because again, it's just us two. And we're gonna give it a mix. And again, since this is just like Greek yogurt and like cold soup, you can definitely taste it if it needs to be like something added to it. Yeah. Okay, so I have the soup portion of it done, and I'm gonna just go ahead and add the green beans and stuff. I'm gonna go ahead and put it on the tray that I have because I got this from Dollar Tree, and so you know it's like all that extra flimsy, so yeah. But I'm gonna go ahead and just put the green beans in. Wow, this is like the perfect amount. Cool. So I have my green beans in. I'm pouring in this soup concoction. And the reason I'm not really talking to you guys about this is because this stuff is like so self-explanatory. It's just like soup, yes. Green beans, yes. The crunchy stuff, yes. And pop it in the oven for like 30-40 minutes, you're done. Final pre-oven product. This is what it looks like. Putting it in the oven. So that's going in the oven for about like 30 to 45-ish minutes, and we're getting ready to do the main thing that we came here for. So okay, so we're gonna start off by cooking our chicken in a cast iron skillet. You can use any kind of container or like pan you want, but I'm using cast iron because I'm gonna go ahead and put it in the oven later. But we were just cooking that in a little bit of olive oil, and we're cooking it long enough to get cooked about like halfway through and to give a nice golden beautiful color, get a little crunchy crunch bits on it because we went ahead and floured it and everything. So we're gonna do that, and I'm just checking to see where we're at on color wise. It seems pretty good. I'm gonna leave it in for like another minute and then flip it over on the other side and have it in for another 2 minutes. And then we're going to go ahead and leave all of our good, delicious chicken bits in the pan and throw in our mushrooms. And we're going to just saute those or just like mix them around until they start wilting or like breaking down. And then we're going to go ahead and add our butter. Again, I have the half cubes and I'm just doing half at a time. So we're going to put the butter in, give it a little mixy mix until the butter starts melting. And once our butter starts melting, we're going to go ahead and add about half a cup of chicken stock, and again it's only half because it's just me and Jessica, so if it's making for more then just have more, and I have the full recipe like down below, so don't worry about that. But I just add in half of the chicken stock in, and I'm stirring it until it starts simmering. And then I'm adding in my wine, and I call it chicken Not Marsala because I'm using Marsala wine. I'm using moscato, and my pour is a little bit on the heavy side, like mom do. Okay, so it's slowly starting to reduce. When you add the wine in and you cook it, like it's taking out the alcohol in it, and you just get the flavor. So no worries. And you just keep cooking until it's thick. Okay, so my stuff has gone down in volume and it is nice and thick, so we're gonna go ahead and put the chicken back in. And for me, whenever I make it this way, like the double baking, I like to make sure that it's not like super like thick where I can't like have the juices like helping it out, but like I don't want it like super thin either. So we're gonna go ahead and put this in the oven for about 10 minutes. And we'll come back and our food will be ready. Okay, so I literally just like pulled this out of the oven, and I used the whole like steam kettle or like steam basket, whatever you want to call, jacket, whatever method, aka putting some aluminum foil over your thing so like the heat traps in and cooks it faster. And I left it in there for about 15-ish minutes, only because I had thicker pieces of chicken. So I had like that, and it's ready. The sauce is nice and thick, as you can see. Well, thick to my likings, because like I said, I didn't want it to be super thick where I can't like do anything with it, but then I don't want to be super thin where it's just like water. And yeah, I went a little overboard with the butter, as you can see, because there's some oil around it, and that's like the butter, but that's okay because I'll just go with our mashed potatoes and our green bean casserole. And this is our chicken, and I will show you a full shot of the entire meal. Okay, so I have our green bean casserole. That took about, with my oven, because I had it on like 400, it was about 15 minutes. My mashed potatoes took about 30 minutes in total, from like peeling, cutting, boiling, all that stuff. So that's like 30 minutes. And my chicken dish took about, I'd say about like 50 to like an hour 10 in total time. And so I hope you guys enjoy, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.